It's not just the infighting in the Russian military and the efforts of Putin to sabotage or assassinate the plane carrying Prigozhin. It's also the evidence of the huge numbers of troops who are being prosecuted for refusing to fight, the attrition rates, the land which is being lost very slowly, but it is being lost, and the morale, the loss of the morale. Now, at the same time, the international pressure is ramping up. President Lukashenko is now being demanded to appear in front of a trial in Switzerland next month about his political opponents and how they disappeared during the 1990s. Whether or not he will actually appear, I think it's highly unlikely. But people are asking questions, and there comes a point where this constant question asking gets noticed by the Russian people. I think, once again, as I've said so many times, we'd be better off if we challenged Russian news on its own terms, in its own place, and we found a way of getting alternative news out to the Russian population. It's convincing the wider Russian population that the Ukraine war is a bad war, convincing them that this doesn't need to be defeat. This can simply be a tactical and clear withdrawal, as well as a commitment to rebuild the land that they have destroyed. It may be seen by Ukraine as a victory. It doesn't need to be presented as such. What we need is an end to this war and an end to Mr. Putin's ambitions. But that requires a change of heart, and that needs to change of heart across Russia as well. One other way of changing that heart is for President Putin to lose power. But Putin is going to make sure, as we've learnt in the last day or so, that any of his rivals for the presidential election are at least as old as he is and as incompetent. So there won't be much of a choice for the Russian electorate when it comes round to the election. And of course, the invasion of Ukraine was part of that process, part of that long-term election strategy to boost the image of President Putin as he-man of the Russian Empire. No longer is he in a position to take off his shirt or pose on a horse, but he can at least look as if he's a military aggressor. And that did very well for him during the last election, and it was assumed that it would do well this time. They think so anyway.